Hey guys, welcome back to Film Feature 43. Today we're talking about Mighty Ducks Game Changers, episode number 10, and it's the finale of this season, so this will be my last review. Like most of my videos, I'm going to give a little breakdown and then my review of this episode, and then I'm going to kind of give my review of the whole season, just to kind of wrap things up since this is the last episode. So if you're new, make sure to subscribe. I do reviews on a bunch of different things. I do theories and things like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Quack, 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 quack. So we start off by seeing the playoff montage. We're here, we're at States. We're going through 32 teams. And we see some of the Don't Bothers games. We see some of the Ducks games. And we get to the semifinals with the Don't Bothers. The Ducks are already in the finals, so it's time to get that matchup set. We kind of get Coob's motivation for doing well because his parents never show up to any of the games. And then in the semifinals against Lumberjacks, they're there, which gives him the motivation to play better than he's ever played before. Sofi scores against these monsters of children, and they end up winning the game. But it comes at a cost. Sofi hurt her knee and can't play in the next game, but she refuses to not play because the team needs 10 players to play, which I've been asking the whole time, why are these Czech kids here? And I think that's the answer. They just needed 2 seat fillers. I still kind of wish they would have gave them something to do, but they still didn't. Season's over, and we never really see them do anything. The team bands together and forfeits all for one because they don't want Sofi to feel like it was her fault. Coach T's bragging, so Bombay comes up and says, hey, you know what? We'll play you for at the Ice Palace. And he said, fine, if I win, you won't exist anymore. So the Don't Bothers are playing for their existence, but their prize is the coveted name of the Mighty Ducks. And the Don't Bothers are there to bring back the Ducks of the 90s, where the Ducks of the 2020s suck. So they're in it for the name. Ducks go up with an early lead, but Coach T wants dirty play, so the Ducks oblige. They start slamming on the boards, tripping them. There's only one ref, so they can get away with it. The Ducks end up going up 3-1. Don't Bothers have an emotional pep talk in the locker room, filled with stories and how being a part of this team made them better people and actually gave them happiness where they didn't have it before. And with that, they're ready to win. They go out wearing the OG Duck jerseys. They have Averman and Goldberg and Conway and all the OG names on their back. We get the culmination in this last period of the entire season. You got blindfold hockey. You got Evan dropping the BF bomb on Nick. You get the short order shot from Logan, and we're tied up. So what do? They pull out a play from the OG Ducks and do the flying V, which nets them the win and the name the Mighty Ducks. So that was the entire episode. They win. They didn't end up winning states, which kind of sucks, but I like the way that they kind of pulled a backdoor. Yeah, they didn't win the states, but there is a game that counts, and they did win that. That's something that I think the original Mighty Ducks had going for them. It was always unconventional, whether it be passing eggs or playing on frozen ice ponds. I think that that's what Gordon Bombay brings to the table. And I've mentioned in my previous videos that I wish there was more hockey, which is true, I still do, and I understand why you can't have so much hockey in every scene, but I think actually what I figured out is what I missed more so is the training leading up to the hockey. The unconventional stuff that Gordon would do, playing with beach balls and passing eggs and having the cowboy rope up people and teaching Benny the Jet Rodriguez to stop because he doesn't know how to stop, so they stack up cans and tying Goldberg to the goal to teach him not to be afraid of the puck. That kind of stuff is the stuff I miss. And that's what you get with Gordon Bombay. Whenever Bombay was a focal point of an episode, think of the pancake scene or the passing of the cell phone scene in the ice pond. You got that unconventional stuff. So maybe my complaint, which is not really a complaint, it's just my opinion, Maybe my complaint isn't that there wasn't enough hockey. Maybe my complaint really is that there's not enough Gordon Bombay. And I understand, again, why that isn't. It's the passing of the torch. They want him there to kind of be the link from the past to the present, but you gotta kind of let Bombay do her thing too. So this episode being the culmination of all that and all the weird kind of tricks that they learned along the way, I think is really good. I think this episode may have been my favorite or my second favorite just because of that scene alone. Still not sure about the blindfolded hockey, if that would really work, but it worked for them, so it doesn't really matter what I think. And another thing I was thinking about was, with the unconventional stuff, is if you think about it, the 80s and 90s was filled with that kind of thing. You think of the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. You think of Rocky in there hitting side of beef instead of using a punching bag, and then you had Mighty Ducks, and you get that kind of odd sort of this is how I'm going to do it because I don't have a lot of money or we don't have a lot of skill and we're learning these skills through these things. I think that's why shows like Mighty Ducks Game Changers exist and Cobra Kai, is because people long for that nostalgic feeling. They want the kind of underdog story, and that's what this ended up being. Obviously, being a Mighty Ducks story, it's going to be an underdog story. So what's for the future of this show? I don't know if it did well enough. By this time, by the third episode or so, we knew that we're getting a Mandalorian season 2. It's kind of up in the air, I think. Maybe they wanted to see how this episode did viewer-wise. I'm not really sure. I do know that I hope that there's a second season, especially since now they have the name of the Ducks, and we can get into that duck kind of mentality, and they can bring in new players, and we get more quirks, kind of like D2, where they brought in the ice skater and they brought in the cowboy and stuff like that. I kind of hope that if they do a season 2, that's kind of what they pull in new players. I know Emilio Estevez is probably game. He's the one to produce this. Lauren Graham's probably game. It might be a Stranger Things season 3 situation where the kids grow up so fast that they don't really look the same anymore if they don't put it in the shoot now. So hopefully if that's what they're planning, it works. But overall, I think they did a fine job. Not my favorite show on TV, but definitely not the worst. I think they handled the source material well, being the original 3 films. They tried to pay homage to it, but be their own thing at the same time. And I kind of get that my previous reviews, I was kind of wishing for more of the nostalgia, but I feel like that's because I grew up on the original Mighty Ducks. I feel like kids who are just getting into it like the newer stuff, and that's why they went with the newer stuff. So I want to know what you guys think. Did you enjoy the show as a whole? Did you enjoy this episode? Are you hopeful for a season 2? If so, let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.